Hey, welcome back guys. Thanks for joining me. We are still talking about the fastest ways to get you laid. So the next one is stepping up your sex game. And this is important. Most guys looking for quick sex are looking for a fast nut. And while we all have that issue from time to time, if you're not good in bed, the rest of your game won't matter. You can have a silver tongue, all the money in the world, the fantastic conversation, confidence, you can launch an interstellar fleet into battle. But if you suck in bed or kissing, you're never gonna be able to maintain constant sex, because you suck. Whether you're trying to be with multiple women or just one woman, it's hard for a woman to find a man who can really make love to her the way that she likes. And because when she finds him, she will stick with that guy through all types of shit. If she can get an amazing dick from you, then you're gonna be having a lot more sex, because she knows that she can come ride that disco stick. If nothing else, you can make her come repeatedly. Better yet, you can make her squirt. It's called a super orgasm, you can Google it. I was working at a fitness center, never mind which one, really popular one though, no judgment. And this young woman, I worked overnight, and this young woman came in and she was sitting there, we were talking, chatting it up all night. The gym was pretty empty and I knew what I was doing, we'll just say that. And we wind up back in the tanning beds and get a little fellatio, we'll just say that. So we wind up, she needed to ride back to her place, yeah? So I wind up taking her home when I got off at like 6 in the morning. And there was no penetration. I just performed cunnilingus and she squirted a couple of times. I left, no big deal. For the next week, she kept trying to come up to my job to find me. She didn't realize that I only worked overnights. So I wound up picking up a shift during the afternoon, I believe it was on a Thursday. And I walk in and she's just sitting there in the lobby of the gym waiting for me. Stands up, because I hadn't been answering her calls. Oh, I'm diming myself out here. Stands up and says, "You can't be doing that to people. What, how you just gonna do that to me and leave me alone? Like, you can't do that to people." Side note, if you are really good at cunnilingus, you can make a woman keep coming back, honestly. I was working at a bank, never mind which one, and one of the women in the overnight banking department wound up coming over one evening. And again, all I did was go down on her. And then I sent her home. Bye. Yeah, she was right back the next day. But anyway, that's another story for another time. Let's be honest, women aren't dumb. She knows you're trying to game her. And whether or not she sticks around has less to do with how good you're talking and more to do with how good you slang can. All right, give her the best sex she's ever had every time. Next thing I want you to do is to get that first date done fast, right? Figuring out what a woman wants and how to give it to her requires finesse. The finesse of good conversation, charm, listening skills, along with the proper sexual advances at the right time. Learning how to let her come to you. Get that first date done as quickly as possible. Get that first night out done. It's important. How does this help you get laid faster? Well, many people have sex on the first date anyway, as much as just bemoaned afterwards. But you have to do it right. A good first date will also result in a second and a third date and consistent sex. Remember, don't hit it and quit it if it's good. Now, you won't close with every girl on the first night, so don't expect that. But you will start to learn women and how to push and pull when it's right. And that means you'll know how to get laid faster with girls the next time. If your sex game is strong, most of them will come back anyway for seconds or even sevenths. Now, sometimes girls will back away because you didn't make a move after the second date. Some ideas for the date? Have it somewhere cheap. Pool hall, darts are always fun. Or go for something a little more adventurous that'll get you connected and laughing. I took a date recently to an anger release place where you smash things to get your anger out. And we were all over each other. It's a great way to get the emotions flowing. Keep the location close to your place or wherever you plan on sealing the deal. Some girls will be cruel with the back seat, but higher quality girls might want a bed and at least a sofa. And let's be honest, your best work cannot be done if you can't maneuver. Remember to be cool and confident and not needy, even though you are, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this episode. Next, I want you to remember that high value equals higher opportunity. We want to have sex with beautiful women because we value their beauty. Women want to have sex with men because they value man's looks, status, money, or the respect that he commands, or even his confidence or charm. It's a huge mix with them. And this is a sale. The whole thing is marketing. If you don't know who's buying, how can you sell it? While we want substance and all that good stuff, we also have to be honest. We go for what looks good at first. A way to get laid more often and quicker is to raise your market value. How? Lift weights, eat right, don't smell, find purpose, make more money, live a more interesting life. No one likes to waste time. I say it all the time. Time is the only commodity that you cannot get back. It's your most valuable asset. You better make sure that she knows what the end game is. This is one end game that you can spoil. Yes, you will have to have some conversation to get to know this girl a bit, but this isn't a search for a girlfriend. If the girl you're talking to doesn't seem to be interested in having sex, then move on. And I repeat myself, don't continue to pressure her. If she's already told you no 2 or 3 times, then it's time to move on. Now, if you're looking to get it tonight with someone you just met, your window of opportunity is small. So make sure that you aren't wasting your time with girls who may just be looking for guys to buy them drinks or who are looking for a serious relationship. Ask her what she's doing later on. Seriously, dive right in. Maybe at the end of the night, you've had a really great evening having a couple of drinks and you head back to your cars and you're making out in the parking lot hot and heavy and stuff is raging and she's wet and you know it. And you pause the kiss and you ask, we going back to mine or we going back to yours? Maybe you're out of town. Hey, come back to my room. Let's get a room. In fact, a really good way to do this is whilst you're kissing her, don't stop the kiss, work your way around the side of her neck and whisper in her ear, my place or yours? Look, I've had multiple situations where I got all the way there and the woman was like, well, I don't really know if I want to do this or not right now. I'd like to wait. And after I pressed a little harder, if her answer doesn't change, I back away respectfully. Continuing to press like that in this culture will get you in trouble. And I don't want that for you. So be mindful, be respectful adults. Let's talk about where you work. Nightlife industry can get you laid. What about a bartender or a DJ, a bouncer? All these guys have something in common. Even the guy who hands out the stuff in the bathroom. They get to see women all the time. Get yourself a part-time gig as a barback or something, or even a bouncer or whatever. If you get a part-time job in the nightlife industry, you're going to meet a ton of women with tons of opportunities to get laid. Now, you may not always be able to have sex with them that night if you're working, but you will get plenty of numbers that can follow up that way. Plus, you have market value it gives you. You're compared to every other guy in the club. The club owner, the VIPs have the most swag, but the workers there are just a step above the regular club goers. You know, maybe because you can get her a drink or you can get her favorite song played. This will always lead to more sex. Next, just ask. It really is that simple, that I don't know how more simple it can get. Closed mouths don't get fed. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. You want to get laid quick? You want to get laid now? I mean, don't just walk up to random women and say, you want to fuck? Don't do that. I mean, the situation has got to be right. You out for the evening, maybe on a date. Just let her know, this is what I'm feeling. I want to be with you. I want to do this, you know, and she'll let you know how she feels about it. You know, there's a lot of people who say, you know, make her comfortable. I want you to make her comfortable with it. Make her comfortable with the idea. Women love it as much as men. Be honest. But you also, no woman wants to feel like she's being pressured into sex. You know, I had one client who, he went out with a woman and he was just like, hey, come up to my room and let's do this. She slapped him because he hadn't even done things throughout the date to make her more comfortable with the sexual advance. So it's really, really important that you do those things. You should already know if she's comfortable or not by this point. And if she's leaning over and whispering in your ear and touching your skin and hugging you all hard and like that, then it's perfectly okay. Don't be afraid to say something. Hey, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoy these episodes on the easiest ways to get laid, which is the subject for right now. If you missed the first episode and you want to watch it, click here. If you missed the previous series on game, please click here. Ding! Thanks for tuning in.